Hey, welcome back to my channel. So, it is very nearly the end of 2016, so I've decided in the build up to 2017, I'm going to be talking about books, films, TV shows I am specifically looking forward to coming sort of next year or onwards. And I'm going to be talking about TV shows, one in particular for this video, because there's just so much to it. I just think it really does deserve its own sort of video in itself. So I'll be talking about Still Star-Crossed, done by the amazing writer and producer that is Shonda Rhimes. So Still Star-Crossed is basically a sequel to Romeo and Juliet, and we never really got that much of a conclusion apart from one line that hinted that the feuding families of Montague and Capulets resolved their issues in the wake of Romeo and Juliet's deaths. Still Star-Crossed challenges that, and actually you see from the trailer, which I will link in the description box below, that the families did the exact opposite, and the feud sort of continued and it became worse. Now, this story is going to focus on Rosalind, who was a character very briefly mentioned in the original text. In this version, you find out she is Juliet's cousin, and she is being forced to wed uh, Belly, Belly, Bar, one of, basically Romeo's friend. I really can't pronounce his name. It begins with a B, but it's come to be revealed in this version that they are related. So he is also a Montague. So it's a bit odd how they've come to the conclusion that they want to resolve their issues, which is by having a Capulet and a Montague married to sort of end the feud. Now, these two do not like each other at all, and they want to do anything to kind of stop this wedding going forward. Now, the book itself, this is a book to TV adaptation. The book itself is written by Melinda Taub. I really hope I pronounced that right. And it's a young adult book. I've not read it, but I wanted to do a bit of background research. I wasn't able to buy it, but I looked at other people's reviews of the book. From what I gather, it's a YA novel. It attempts, well, not attempts, because quite a few people said it was quite good, but it keeps to the original Shakespearean dialogue and the characters. It sounds like a fairly decent book, so they've got good material to go off of, and yeah. So the source material looks pretty good, but even from looking at the trailer and what I've heard about the book, it sounds like the TV show is going to be a lot more layered and complex and much more adult than what the book was. The actual casting for this does look really good. I mean, just even the front runners, the three main leads, just look absolutely amazing. And I'm going to go into that in more detail now. So Rosalind is going to be played by Lashana Lynch, who is a British actress, and oh my god, she is just amazing in what I've seen her in. She knows how to play comedy, sort of dark, emotional stuff, especially in right. Well, two examples of features I've seen her in. Fast Girls, she played the very confident, sort of sexually promiscuous, well, not promiscuous, but flirtatious runner. She was very loud, very confident, very spoke her mind, no matter how inappropriate it was. And in Brotherhood, which is the third installment of the Hood series by Noel Clarke, she'd also worked, who also wrote Fast Girls as well, so they'd had history working together. She really showed an emotional layer to an existing character when she was introduced as his love interest. And their scenes together, it just went from funny and ridiculous to tear-jerking emotional. So for an actress to be able to do that in the same scene is just amazing. Like, you cannot falter about this. Is probably the first thing I personally have seen LaShawn do serious or dark stuff. And just the way she plays Rosalind, just even from those small clips, the feistiness and the independent spirit, and just she just spoke her mind, and just such. She wasn't like Juliet, who I think the TV. I'll get to Romeo and Juliet, the actors, in a bit, but I think in terms of a TV series, they're going to have to develop the love story between Romeo and Juliet, because William Shakespeare's story is so rushed. It's just the classic tale of insta love, and just to see how that would. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to come back to them too. So LaShawn as Rosalind, just an absolutely amazing, just brilliant casting, and I cannot wait to see her just take the lead with this role. And but one of the things I am I'm not concerned about this, because as a writer and director myself, I look at I like to think you look at the talent and the actors' chemistry with each other more than just the appearance. And with Juliet and Rosalind being cousins, I just I'm not worried about this, but I just feel like this would be kind of developed on once obviously these two girls were cast. Juliet is white and Rosalind is dark skinned, and I feel like this they're not going to draw too much attention to this because obviously she's a Capulet. But I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Rosalind's parents and heritage has built her up to this point. Because from what I've seen of the show and the auditions that have come out, they've literally opened it up to all ethnicities and races. So they're literally just looking for the talent, which I think is absolutely brilliant. To not just, okay, we want someone to just look like this or look like that. They've actually gone, no, we will open it up to whoever, and whoever we want, we will work with that and build that into the story if we have to, but they are the talent that we want. And I could say so many things. I really wish I could add this trailer into my video just to show what I am talking about. But LaShawn she looks so amazing just as Rosalind, and just so I really cannot wait to see her take on this role. So yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant casting choice there. All right, Bings, Wade Briggs, Bings, I think it's Briggs. Wade Briggs is playing Benevello, Benevello, and there he's a very, from what I gathered from, he's already an existing character in Romeo and Juliet. So the way he is in this, he's very confident, very arrogant. Even just from the few scenes, he looks like a ladies' man, and he is to be betrothed to Rosalind. And they're both not impressed. I mean, even their first scene together, they actually attend Romeo and Juliet's wedding, and Rosalind's just like, "This is madness." Oh, you don't approve? No, I do not. And just that dismissiveness of their characters, it's just, I feel like a love story is not going to develop, but there could be chemistry, or there could be stirrings of a romance that could build between these two. I mean, this is Shonda Rhimes, so I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't a love interest in one way or another. So yeah, he does look really good for the role, and you don't really see a lot of his character in the story, the play. So it will be interesting to see how he brings much more depth to this character. And even just looking at his few scenes, the confident arrogance and the bravado is just so fitting for a character like that. Another actor I'm really looking forward to seeing is Sterling Solomon, who is playing the Prince Escabas, who is kind of related to the royals. And he is the one who suggests that the Capulets and the Montagues wed each other to kind of end the feud, which is ironic because that is exactly what Romeo and Juliet did, and it ended with them two dying. So how the council have come to this conclusion that getting two more married will fix this war is just, I don't know, it's very odd. But then it is revealed that Rosalind's love interest is actually Prince Escoban, and there is a lot of unresolved feelings and betrayal and resentment and probably feelings of abandonment between them from the few clips you got from the trailer. So it'll be really interesting to what happened to her, what happened to him, why they broke up, why they aren't together now. This is just me purely guessing, and Shonda just guessing on how Shonda Rhimes would probably add a more sort of layered love interest. Is there's a line where Prince Azkaban is talking about wanting to sorry, word vomit. Yeah, there's a line where Azkaban is talking about wanting to protect Rosalind, restore her virtue, bring back dignity to her family name, restore what she had lost. And Rosalind's like, no, I don't want what I lost. And that line just had me thinking, what could she have lost? Could they have had a child out of wedlock and that child died, or it was given away? Could he have gotten her pregnant, or because back in those days, a woman's virtue, and this was a line that even came up before, that they'd agreed to the Montagues had agreed to marry one of their sons to a Capulet maiden, not a Hoppy, who were they referring to very ladylike to Rosalind, and she obviously is having none of it in that scene. But yeah, I feel like there is something which we will see throughout the first season to sort of show what it was that Rosalind had lost and why they weren't together. So, and just talking about his acting, his British accent is actually really good, and I'm very. I think it's because I binged watched Scandal last the summer just gone, and I've just watched season 5, but I wasn't a fan of the love interest between. Just going completely off topic here, very briefly, but I'll get to a point. Between the three main characters, especially in season 5 in Scandal. But even just watching a clip on Starcross, it was just, oh my god, I want these two together. It was even just that. I was just like, okay, this is probably a couple I would root for. The actors have amazing chemistry, and I feel like there is a story to them to learn. So yeah, it just seeing him as the main love interest, even though a lot of people, especially those who read the book, would think, oh, it'd just be Benevolent from Montague and they'd fall in love. But to see her with a proper that love interest and to have that emotion, it just it looks like it's going to be really good. And where would we be if we weren't talking about Romeo and Juliet themselves? So Romeo is being played by Lucien Lavissant. I'm really terrible with these names. And he's a quite known British actor over here, but over in the States, he's made a name for himself, especially with Scream Queens. And he was in an episode of Supernatural, which was supposed to be a spin off to a backdoor pilot, but the series didn't get picked up. So he's been in quite a few American stuff already. He is playing the recurring character of Romeo, and Juliet is being played by Clara Rugged or Ruggard. And yeah, they do look like they have really good chemistry together. But I, as someone who knows Romeo and Juliet, my family practically raised me on Shakespeare. That all of the videos. I'm going really old school. So I saw all of the really old William Shakespeare stories. I've read them, sort of studied them in school, and I am. It's not because of the actors, because I think they played it really well. Even just seeing that clip of the wedding, and then obviously them dying. It's just because I know that the story is just the characters themselves. I'm not a fan of, but I feel like because they're recurring characters, we'll probably get flashbacks of scenes from Romeo and Juliet, and the relationship might be more longer, or it might have more depth to it. It won't just be we meet after 3 days, we get married, we die. I feel like they probably want to, even though they're dead at the start, seeing them in flashbacks, they'll want that relationship, people to care about these characters, even though they're not in present day. So probably the relationship with Juliet and Rosalind, Romeo and Juliet, Romeo and Montague, and Benevolus. So you will see all of those relationships intertwined, but I really like the casting. I just hope the characters are more developed. And yeah, I'm not going to pause again because I feel like I can just go from here. Yeah, I don't need to check anyone else. There's a long list of really good actors, but I feel like I just wanted to cover the main people, and I will probably review each episode, and I'll probably go into more detail with other characters. But the cast list does look really impressive. So yeah, feel free to check that out and definitely watch the trailer. It looks like Starcross might be getting a name change, which I think it's an alright title, still Starcross, because it is it's still the Starcross sort of thing is well known for Romeo and Juliet. So to have a still Starcross, keep the title from the book, it feels like a good follow up. I'm personally fine with the title. But some people have said it may be Love and War, or which, to be fair, is a bit too much like the BBC drama. I can't remember its name. Love and Peace, War and Peace. It had Lily James in it, and I've actually got the book over there. So I yeah, it's War and Peace. I just went to go check. Yeah, it's a Love and War. It would be a bit too predict not predictable, but well, yeah, it would be too predictable. So I'm not keen on. I really hope they still stick with Starcross or have a good tie-in to Romeo and Juliet that you can just be like, okay, I can watch or read Romeo and Juliet and watch this and sort of still feel like this is a companion story or a sequel, just something I can get into knowing what it's about. So I I really don't think they really do have to change the name, but only time will tell. And it's been renewed. Well, it's not been renewed, but the series got picked up from the pilot, of course, and there'll be 7 episodes. Which I, for a starter, I feel like this because you're not being. Well, I feel like 22 episodes for a story like this would. I feel like we probably get too sidetracked with flashbacks and Romeo and Juliet that we'd probably miss a lot of Still Starcross because you'll want to tie that in too much. But I feel that the writers would probably delve too much into Romeo and Juliet if they had so much time to fill. So 7 episodes for a first season is actually pretty good. I would probably have preferred 13 or 16. I feel like those, but 7 for a start, I feel like that would be really good. and it definitely does have a lot of potential. I mean, it just yeah, it does. I feel like this could be a really good show, and it's due out in America January on ABC. There's no sort of confirmed dates yet or anything like that for over in England. If there is, I will probably include it in the description box below. Early January for people over in the States. So I'm really looking forward to see what people think of that. And yeah, I'm really excited for this series. Brilliant casting, just a great story to go off of. And I'm really excited to see how this story will sort of go off as its own, but also as a sequel to Romeo and Juliet. From what I've heard, it does get really dark. And with Shonda Rhimes sort of producing this and the writers that she works with, they do really well with dark. So I'm really stoked for this new series. So yeah, this was my introduction to Still Starcross. I will probably do a general series that I'm probably going to watch next year, and yeah, I am really looking forward to the new year. Films, books, all of it. So let me know in the description box what you think. Have you read Starcross? Are you looking forward to seeing the TV series? What do you think of the casting? Who would you have cast? Who would you prefer to produce it or write it? And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So see you next time. Bye.